profit with Nick Black. It's time to chit chat. You know nothing about blockchain. We here to fix that. You want the news on them new stocks? This where you get that. So go and grab you a nice chair. It's time to sit back and talk to profit. Hey, hey, you talking to the prophet. Hey, hey. We talking condos and nice clothes and driving Lambos. I remember them night codes, we couldn't stand those. We tried to drive on them house roads, but had to stay low. Now there's solutions to hard bills we couldn't pay for. I talked to profit to get some profit, we couldn't change the top. If it's a stock and I need a cop it, I wait for him to drop it. Ain't no option, let's get it popping. We chilling in the drop. I need some crypto, put it in my pocket by any means I rock. This is the profit with Nick Black. It's time to chit chat. You know nothing about blockchain, we here to fix that. You want the news on them new stocks, this where you get that. So go and grab you a nice chair. It's time to sit back and talk to profit. Hey, hey, you talking to the prophet. Hey, hey, you talking to the prophet.
All right. So, hopefully nobody got blown up on the weekend. Well, actually, the weekend, Sunday and Monday, turned out to be cool. It was just Friday and Saturday were the information vacuum, and everybody there were clocks that were cleaned. Although this wasn't that bad. Everybody knew. Now everybody expects weekends are just going to suck. If Wojtek, what was Wojtek going after you for? Let's see who all is here. Quick shout out to everybody that's not watching Emil and Jeff. Emil Kalinowski and Jeff Snyder on Making Sense Eurodollar University. You need to go back to episode 1 and you need to watch every single episode. That's like mandatory. You need to have it. It just needs to be in the databanks. And you don't have to memorize all of the nuances. Jeff gets really detailed on what he talks about, but you need to be exposed to it. Because if you're not, you're going to miss a lot of this stuff. And things won't make as much sense as perhaps maybe they should. Let's go to some little morning music. Okay, let me say hello to Biotech Breakout, Antonio Gordon Bennett. What up? Let's see. Who do we have? We have Stress Relief, Joe Pirate, 29LH06, Virulo, Belinda, Jasnock, The Real J. Cole, not the fake one, of course, the real one. Yes, there are 70 of his videos, he and Emil, and you need to watch them all. And actually, there's more than that because some of them are 3-part. There's like probably 100. And we're going to start working together more and more. At least maybe once a month, you'll see either Jeff and Emil over here, or we'll go over there and do a crossover show. But yeah, and George Gammon is really good too, even though he's been dodging me because he says that he didn't say this, but basically there's nothing we have to offer George Gammon because we don't have enough subscribers. I don't know what to tell you, George. I guess the 40 or 50,000 people that we communicate with over on Money Map Press is not sufficient for George Gammon. He didn't tell me this. His assistant told me this. All right, George. Whatever, man. I think George is awesome. But I think he may be drinking a little bit of his own Kool-Aid. All right. No, but he does have good information. He's just been a crypto hater forever, and now he's pretending to like it. Don't pretend to like Bitcoin now, George. You never liked it. You were a Schiffian. Don't try to act like you're all, Bitcoin. Dude, I'm going to the Bitcoin conference. Get the fuck out of there, George. You don't belong because you're a Johnny come lately. George Gammon, I love the guy, but he's no different than Mark Cuban when it comes to crypto. It's cool now, so George will do crypto now. When it's not cool, George will go, I told you so. I told you crypto wasn't cool. These Johnny come latelys, man, that's why these dudes never make real money. They make okay money, but not real money, because real money's made by looking into the future, not looking at the past and trying to, trade on the moments. Different strokes for different folks. I want wealth, man. I don't want money. I don't want to be rich. Rich people get blown up all the time. You want wealth. Wealth. All right. Well, Brandon and I were talking this morning. Wealth is like when your money makes money and that money makes money and that money is a full income, you're wealthy. Okay, so let's say Novico, what's up? Let me say hello to Biotech Breakout on the other side. Dobry jutra. Let's see. Jim, what's going on, Jim? What's going on, Lori, Nara, Wolverine Maniac, Antonio on both sides. And I think Antonio is also hosting a show over on the Clubhouse, the stinking cesspool that is Clubhouse. Oh, man. Cluster, what's going on, man? Let's see. We have Demayan, what up? Scott, and I think Scott and Scott Hill are here. Both Scotts, all the Scotts. Hello, Scotts. Luis, Sylvia, hello, darting uphill. Brady, what's up, Brady? Yeah, man. Hey, I didn't get the link. You know, when you guys were doing your show last week, I actually intended, I was playing with the cats. They were running around all crazy. I was out in the back, but I thought, okay, this will be kind of fun. And then I guess I'm not sure how you sent the link, but next time just text it. You have my number. Text it. Because I was like, where the hell did he send the link to? So anyway, I couldn't get on. Okay. Michael across the pond, what's going on? Dubai Money, what up? Johnny Midas with the touch from Malibu. We're gonna go shoot an episode over there in Malibu. We'll set it up like if you have a view that looks out like over with the mountains or some cool stuff in the background, we should do an episode over there. That'd be badass. A remote, as long as you have internet. In Malibu, internet's not always so easy. Those of you that wonder why I'm kind of like fidgeting, so I'm doing a workout right now. See these little things? These are dope. It's a wire. It's complex. It's wireless. It's got these little probe thing. It's got these anyway. Whatever. They're sticky things, and you hook them up and you run power through it, and it like works you out. And since I kind of smashed my knee up in soccer, I can't squat right now, and I'm doing this stem cell stuff, which is stupid expensive, and I don't want to ruin my stem cells. So they said, don't squat. Let the goo stay in there. Let the stem cells stay. So I'm doing this because it's like a leg workout. I have it like on my legs. So you can't, well, maybe you can't really see. You can kind of see in the wire here. See how the wire's kind of like jiggling? Because my legs are doing a full leg workout as we sit here. It is amazing. Let's see. Did you catch the video of Charles and Ben with Grace the robot? Is that an old video, stress relief, or is that a new one? Because there was Sophia, but I don't think they had a Sophia. You know what? Someone send me a link to that, because anything with Ben in it and Charles, I want to see it. Let's see. But anyway, yeah. So if for those of you that are stuck and you want to work out and you're like stuck in an office, these things are awesome. Just go to look them up on Compex. Again, I don't get any kind of kickback. I just think these things are badass. And then what you do is through the workout, you add the intensity. You go up, up, up until the point where you're like, oh, it hurts real bad. And then that's your thing. So each workout's like 20, 24 minutes. So I'll be able to do like 2 workouts while we're here. I'm totally multitasking, but I may be gritting my teeth also. So just kind of bear. It says increase intensity to your max. Oh God, it hurts so bad. All right. It is what it is. Okay. Let's see. I get that a lot too. Good to see you. David. Okay. Now I know you are David. Nancy. What's up, Nancy? Nancy Juniper. I like the smell. Let's see. Okay, good. Audio is good. Todd, good to see you. Chris, Tiffany, Ella Paul. Let's see. We got, okay, good. Scott Hill is here. Bill. What's up, Bill? I got sub 300 Kusama. Oh, nice. That is a good purchase because, as we know, this is going to be the month of the polka dot. And I still think polka dot's cheap. I still think it's cheap. I'm still buying it. I bought polka dot when at the beginning of the weekend no, sorry, that's a lie. I bought it in the chaos last 2 weekends ago when everybody was crying. Why? Because I kept some extra cash around and I didn't take on leverage. Yes, no leverage. Keep 10% in stablecoin. When the market S's the bed, you buy it. When the market comes back up, you go back to stablecoin, but keep the extra tokens, kind of like what we do with Cointelegraph Pro. There's a system here, peeps. You don't have to spend money to make money. You have to protect money. Okay, Barno, what's going on? Good to see you. Ali Allah, what up? S2K Hobo. David Ashley, what's going on? Let's see. Patrick, Patsy, Joe, Tony, Expat Matt, Adam, Hoop and Tony. Am I getting everyone? Wojtek, what's up? Charts for kindergartners, they can only draw random light. Yeah, I tend to agree. I think charts are pretty stupid. Right now, they're pretty stupid. I agree with his sentiment. Charts right now are not enough. And people that are chart reading. Now, if you're put it in the basket of necessary but not sufficient. There's a lot of information in the crypto space that is necessary but not sufficient. What does that mean? It's necessary that you understand where this information comes from, how it's derived. It's important to understand how it may color your decision-making process, but it's not sufficient. It's necessary to understand, but it's not sufficient to trade off of. It's not enough. Looking at the past will not tell you what the future is going to do, especially in an unformed market at the end of a credit debt super cycle. For those of you that have read The Fourth Turning, and yeah, it's hard to get through. All right, it's very verbose, but there's a lot of good information in there. And if you look at these big cycles, these big 30, 40-year cycles, we may be at the tail end of one. And if we are at the tail end of one, then anyway, we'll get into it. So yeah, I agree. Don't be a chart reader. And if you are, just be honest with yourself that it could help inform you about decisions that you were already going to make, but it cannot tell you what decision to make. It's necessary, but not sufficient. Let's see, Vitek breakout. But okay, Patrick, did I buy DOT at $2 plus total? I bought DOT. My original DOT purchase was $3. And it wasn't a huge purchase. And then I continued to buy, and my last purchase was $17. And because it was 50, and then a week later it was 17. I was like, oh yeah. Oh yes, I'm buying. Let's see, fettuccine lines are also. This is true. This is so true. JR, what's going on? Good to see you. Let's see. Trying to get through the fourth turning. I know, God. I've got it on my desk, and I keep wiping the dust off of it because I don't want people to think that it's got dust on it because I'm not in. Jesus Christ, 1 inch staking. Okay, let me just do the opening. 1 inch is dope. So here's what I added to real quick. No, I'm not going to tell you until we get back from this non-commercial break. I will see you in a minute. Markets are green again. Ron is running his little blower thing again. He was so good. He was so good for so long. I'm going to tell Ron to buy Shiba Inu coin with everything he's got. He's always hitting me up. What do you got? What do you got? What do you got, Nick? What do you got? Oh, I got something for you, Ron. Shiba Inu. Go all in. Get leveraged. Get balls deep in it. Sucker. Cold sucker. His landscape dudes are badass, though. These suckers climb trees. They go in ditches. They go they do some stuff. All right. We're going to talk a little bit about markets being green again. We're going to look at what's going on with Ron with Cointelegraph. We're going to talk, does China matter? We'll discuss it. I'll answer your questions. I know it's been many days. I think the last time we all chatted. And let me say hello to Manase. Anyway, crack cocaine. That's funny. That's actually, you just won the internet. Riliano, good to see you. Okay, cool. One nip dipped in arsenic and the other tree solves your problem. That is creepy and awesome. Okay. Let's see. Dot for the win. Yeah, I think Dot's pretty legit. King, I like your tweets. You have some pretty good tweets. I always giggle. There was one where someone was pumping some old stupid stuff and you kind of checked him on it. Anybody that's not following King Cardano, you should follow because he does call people out. I try to call people out, but people are like, you're just mean. I'm like, no, I'm not mean. I'm cynical. There's a difference. I'm very nice. I'm just cynical as hell. And there's so many there's so many Mark Cubans out there. So little time. Okay, so for the rest of us that have never been able to finish the fourth turning, essentially there are these big super cycles. And you could look at it as these kind of cycles of people's psychology shifting, taking on more risk, taking on more credit, more debt, but the debt seems to grow out of control. The risk taking grows out of control. And these things always come to an end, usually badly, with either a depression or a long recession, or some kind of chaos event, some kind of relatively long-lasting chaos event. And the theory is that we are at the tail end of one, or slowly working our way into a new one. The problem is at the tail end of these things, a lot of people play into the narrative like socialism can look really good when you're broke as fuck. The whole idea of a redistribution and all this kind of stuff, again, looks real good when you have nothing to lose and you want to be the caretaker of said redistributed assets. You want to be the recipient. When you have, started to kind of amplify your wealth or built your assets and all this kind of stuff, then the idea of giving all of your shit to undeserving, entitled assholes doesn't make a lot of sense. It makes less sense. And so you say, wait a minute, that seems bad. So I've worked my butt off. And why do I have to give this all away? Because people feel entitled. And also a lot of people, and that's in a fair system, people feel entitled. But in an unfair system where a lot of us kind of live, it isn't exactly even for everyone. A lot of people don't have a chance. Oh my God, Ron! I will choke him with every being of my soul. I would choke the life out of him and stand over his dead body. If Ron should die, it was not me. Just so you guys all know. Let's see. Nick asked, hey, did you see the article reporting Vitalik admitted phase 1 of E2.0 won't happen until end of Of course. Even Vitalik is surprised. We've been saying this for a long time. By the way, Jeffrey, good to see you. And Ryan, hello. We've been saying this for a long time. Of course it's not going to scale. They've been promising this shit. Listen, if you get them all in a room, Vitalik, Charles Hoskinson, and Gavin Wood, and you say, is Ethereum 2.0 ever going to happen? 3 out of 3 of them will probably say no. There is a chance that it never comes. Why? Here's how you knew. When Vitalik was saying, oh, it's fine. Opportunistic roll-ups will take care of all of it. Like, no. Hold on, Vitalik. No, it's not fine, you dickhead. You can't just go, oh, someone else will sort it out. No, man. No. And that's when I was like, oh, this thing's over with. Plus, one of the other kids that was working on the project, really quick, let me, the program's over. So this is what it looks like at the end. Can you guys see? That's too small, isn't it? Let me go to the bigger camera just so you guys see. It is actually pretty cool. So it's this. I'm going to, the reflection. Damn you, reflection. Whoop. It's this little device, and it's got these little, it's wireless. Anyway, it's so badass. We're back. Okay, so you go one button. Let's see. Here, I'm going to use hypertrophy. And then you select the muscle, and that's got like all these little diagrams. I'm going to do the quad ones. I'm doing quads right now. And it's going to measure the power in each one. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 leads, and they're connected by these little wires. But they are all there's no direct wire connection. It's like a Bluetooth. It's weird, right? Anyway, it's scanning me. So it scans and then it tells you when you're ready to do your workout. So we're going to let it scan. Okay. It's called My Scan. These things are badass. They're like $1,500, but if you ever get injured, but you still want to work out the muscle, or you want to do, it has all these different things. One of them is for like pain relief. One of them is for nerves. If you have nerve pain, people that have like, I don't have any of that shit, but if you do, this thing's dope. This particular one is called the SP 8.0, and you can either get it through the company for like thousands of dollars, or you can go to eBay and you can get it for not so many thousands of dollars, which is such a better deal. So anyway, cool. Keep that in your mind. All right. Okay. Ron is gone. Well, basically he's around the corner doing something with those trees that have those little orange dots, whatever that is. Yeah. Ethereum 2.0, not only is it likely not coming, they didn't really ever think it was coming. Basically Vitalik and the rest of the guys over at 2.0, well, over at Ethereum are just like, we'll get there when we get there. And this is why I was so averse to staking in the 2.0 contract. If you stake in that contract, you don't get those tokens back. You get your rewards, but you don't get those tokens back. So what happens if they don't reach that for a year, 2 years, 3 years? All your shit's locked up, bro. So what could they do? Could they fork Ethereum again? Yeah. Will they fork Ethereum again? I think so, but not because of that. But that would be one way around it. They could fork the token. They could airdrop back a new token, like a 1.5. I don't know. There's all sorts of ways around it. But they could make everyone good. But that would sure crack the unyielding faith in Ethereum. These guys that come on CNBC or they write these dumbass articles, Ethereum 2.0. You know what? It goes back to, if you don't know what the fuck you are looking at, stop writing fucking articles. Stop. Just stop, dude. Stay on the sidelines. Go read a little bit. If you don't know what you're looking at, shut up. And I say this in the nicest way because a lot of these contributors mean well, but they don't know what the fuck they are doing. And it makes everybody else buys into these arguments. I had a guy, a good buddy of mine, he's a hedge fund manager, very successful. And he goes, why do I keep hearing that Ethereum is going to displace Bitcoin? That Ethereum is going to, I said, well, you got all these different arguments mixing together. Ethereum is the silver to Bitcoin's gold, all these stupid arguments, right? Well, the people are mixing a lot of metaphors right now. One of them is exactly, ETH is like fixing an airplane mid-flight. Yeah, like, putting on new wings, and a jet, and building the jet in a CNC machine inside the Cessna that you're flying, that you built out of parts of the Cessna. Anyway, so they're mixing the metaphor, that the silver to gold argument. Oh, that Bitcoin is gold and Ethereum is silver. Nope. Right? Because it's 1 and 2 on the call sheet. Well, then you have to look at the market cap, and you have to look at the available supply, and you have to look at what's parked and what the real float is, and what the derivatives markets. They're just now forming derivatives markets around Ethereum. Okay. Which is good. It's actually great for Ethereum. It's great for the markets in general. But remember what happened to Bitcoin. It made it much more volatile. It's going to make Ethereum much more of a trader's asset and much less of an investor's asset. And then you have the argument that, Ethereum's gonna flip. It's better sound money than Bitcoin. Well, that's a completely flawed argument, because Ethereum is not sound money at all. It's not money at all. It is a thing which you burn to facilitate transactions. It's like electricity. You use electricity to make transactions work. You flip on the light switch, electrons flow, and the light turns on. You initiate an activity with an ERC20 token, you burn Ethereum, and a transaction happens. That is all. It's not a store of value. It's not sound money. It's not money. It was never intended to be money, and nobody except for a few idiots even call it money. So that's stupid. It doesn't follow the same kind of network effects of Moore's law, because most of the network effects of Ethereum have already occurred. Look at all of these spammy bullshit projects that are Ethereum tokens. Why? Because that was the only way you could launch. The only way you could reasonably launch a project. You weren't going to launch an Ethereum base. I mean, it's not like you looked and said, we can either launch on Ethereum or Stellar. No, that's not tenable. We could, smart contract. No, if you were going to launch a project, it was an ERC20 token. That's what everybody did for the last 5 years. Now look at how many people went over to Binance dumb chain and launched projects. Now, most of them were spammy, scammy, borderline or not borderline, just like legit criminal projects where they had the intent from the outset to steal from people and just bail. I mean, it's every other day now. And I mean, at some point, the people at Binance need to maybe take a closer look at their platform and say, is this safe? Should it be this easy to steal from people? But people were still willing to launch projects on Binance Smart Chain because the fees were settled. Tiny, tiny little fees. Now, most of the projects are scams, and they're mostly DeFi scams, and there's very little accountability when you deal with there's so many things flawed with Binance. We don't need to go down that path. Binance is scammy. If you trust Binance, you're taking a huge risk. If you leave assets on their platform, huge risk. If you buy any of their BNB projects, huge risk. Is there a reward? Well, there was in the beginning when it wasn't 1 in 3 projects getting rug pulled, but now I don't know, man. It feels dangerous. So again, so all of these arguments for, well, Ethereum's gonna do that, Raoul Pal. Oh, Ethereum's gonna go to 20,000 because this. Well, first of all, Raoul, if you do think that Metcalfe's law applies, which it doesn't, but if it did, if I'm in your Metcalfe's law camp because it's a misapplication of Metcalfe's law, because you do not understand Metcalfe's law, because you obviously haven't read, what Mr. Metcalfe said about his own theories, where he walked them back and he said they don't apply in a direct kind of logarithmic progression. You can't apply them to assets that had to do with telecom in a very small little area, and an explosion in nodes, in new people, and that those new people would bring their networks. But there's all sorts of flaws and crap. Anyway, but let's say none of that. Let's just say we were going to apply it. Well, you're in an asset class that's not formed yet. We haven't even formed this market yet. So while I do believe this is a network effect market, it's not based on Metcalfe's law, because there's not an unending supply of nodes, right? We can't expand into the greater nether space of the universe. There's not 100 gazillion, quadrillion people. There's 8 and change billion. That is all. They don't all have access to freaking Ethereum. So those arguments fall flat on their face. And so what you can say is Ethereum will probably continue to expand with the greater market, but there's going to be at the same time margin erosion towards these other projects. And that's where you start looking and saying Cardano makes a lot of sense. Polkadot makes a lot of sense. Near makes a lot of sense. I hope they can get out of the starting gate, but Near makes a lot of sense to an extent. Avalanche, Algorand makes a lot of sense. Cosmos might make a lot of sense, although I think they're kind of falling on their face a little bit. But anyway, but what happens is people like Mark Cuban that don't know any better, that know less than Raoul, which it's hard to do because Raoul knows very little about crypto. He likes to say he's been here since 2012. No. I mean, he might have been on the earth since 2012. He's not been in crypto since 2012. I owned a fraction of a bit. Shut up, man. Quit trying to act like you were here on fucking day one. None of us were here on day one, man. Unfortunately. My brother was here early. Super early. 2010, man. He was mining for like a whole year. I think he mined for a year and 1 or a year and 2 months, something like that. He was racking about 15 Bitcoin a day. Okay. Then fast forward 4 years later, right? We were early and we weren't even ready then. When Leroy and I first started looking at crypto, it didn't make sense to us. I mean, it made sense, but we were like, and it was funny because right when we were getting into it, MT Gox happened and we were like, ugh, crap. And it was just like, we got hit right on the head, stay away. And it wasn't until late 16 that we really got into the markets. We were exposed to it. We were looking at it, but it wasn't clear. And I still really wasn't ready to pull the trigger on it. Even when I did, it was because Leroy was like, dude, we got to do it. We got to do it. I'm like, okay. Glad we did. It forced us in once we started investing. Then we had to follow our investment. We had to do the research, but we weren't really ready. And I don't ever go back and say, oh man, I wish I could go. No, because we can't turn back time. We all do things in direct proportion to our willingness to accept that level of risk, and that is all. So you can't look back and say, I should have done this. No, if you should have done that, you would have done that. Quit looking in the past. There's a reason why the rear view mirror is this big and the windshield is 20 times the size. Only spend about 5% of your time looking back in the rear view mirror. Spend the rest of it looking forward. Because if you're accelerating, you don't need to be looking backwards. Nothing back there. There's nothing back there for you. So I don't know. I think we're still, part of the greater discussion is I think we're getting towards the end of YOLO. YOLO is slowly coming to a close. Why? We all know people are going to have to go back to work, get off the couch. You're not going to get the free money. By the way, all of these people that are just going to have to start paying rent again, it isn't that they're just going to have to start paying rent. They have back rent. They have back housing payments. So in the best of times, there is a certain foreclosure rate, right? In the best of times, and a certain eviction rate. These are like national rates. They're local rates. You can look them up. Eviction rate, San Diego. Eviction rate, Los Angeles. Home foreclosure rate, single family homes, Los Angeles, Phoenix. Okay. What do you think is going to happen with all these people? You think everyone's going to get off scot-free that hasn't paid rent in 16, 15, 17 months? Do you think everybody, all these landlords are just going to give everyone a pass? Oh, it's cool. You stole from me for a year, but no, it's cool. High fives, bro. Dude, come on. I know several landlords that are going to use this as a chance to do massive, massive evictions. They're just like, cool. The governor said you don't have to pay, and you just decided to sit there and buy TVs and stuff your apartment with cool shit, but you couldn't pay me? Awesome. Fuck off. Get out. Hit the fucking sticks. And I agree with them because it's bullcrap, man. The landlords didn't get a bailout. Everybody got to sit on their couch. Not everybody. A lot of people, and collect that check. Good. I hope you invested it. Hope you were smart about it. Hope you paid off debt. Did good things. But if you didn't pay rent, rent is due, man. And I think it's at the end of June when all this crap rolls off, when the forbearance ends. They're not going, I can't say they're not. It's unlikely that they're going to continue this forbearance because the landlords, they can't bail out the landlords. That's a second bailout and they ain't going to do it. So I don't know, man. Yeah, exactly. You're a landlord and some a-hole rolls up in a BMW like, I ain't got money. Oh, really? Yeah, dude, I would go nuts. So my guess is that the eviction rates are at least going to go up. Well, the banks kind of want the houses, but they kind of don't. The investment side of the banks want the houses, Eli, but not the lending side, because that's a bunch of bad debt. And if they take these houses, they have to manage these houses. So it costs a certain amount of money to go through foreclosure proceedings and all this kind of stuff. They have to eat that. And if they take a glut of houses, and banks have been in trouble for a long time because they've been trying to prop the market. The housing market is completely artificial. It is a fucking scam. So here's what the banks do. They have all these houses that they don't want to put back on the market. So one way of not putting them back on market is not foreclosing in the first place. One way of not foreclosing in the first place is to simply modify and remodify and remodify and modify all of these existing loans. Why? Because at least you got someone to mow the yard and maybe paint the walls on the inside. There are tons and tons, thousands, tens of thousands of homes that they simply won't foreclose on because they don't want to eat the foreclosure costs. They know they're not going to get the money back. And if they take that glut of new foreclosures and throw them on the market, they will decimate the housing market, which is completely fake. The housing market that you see in linear markets and nonlinear markets, it is not real. It is bullshit. It is fake. You need to understand this. The market you see is fake. Okay? So you can modify these loans for so long. And what happens is, here's a modification. Hey, man, you owe us money. That's the bank. The guy's like, nah. What? What do you mean, nah? Nah, I just don't feel like paying. Well, what if we modified it? Yeah, you can modify it. Yeah. Here, I'll sign it. Cool. We've modified it. Now will you pay? Nah. What? Yeah, I just don't feel like paying, bro. Sorry, guy. Crap. What if we modified it? Okay, that'd be cool. Modify it. All right. What about now? Nah. Bitch. So this is what's happening. So you have a lot of, especially the higher end homes. Don't think because someone lives in a $5 million, $4 million, $3 million home that everything's hunky dory. No, everything's not hunky dory. There's a lot of those. There's a lot of rich house squatters too, formerly rich, sitting in houses they cannot afford. And the banks are just modifying instead of foreclosing. Because at least you have someone in there to keep, because the banks, remember, banks are usually, there's at least two sides to the bank. There is the commercial banking side, and then there's the investment side, right? These are different animals. They only kind of rarely communicate. It's like, you know how there are regular 7-Elevens, and then there are 7-Eleven with gas pumps. Some of them have like gas pumps. But that's a completely separate business. The gas part of 7-Eleven. Yeah, the sign's the same. The business is different. This is even more dissimilar. So, you know, banks are not colluding to steal all of our houses. Now, they probably don't mind. The investment side of the banks are looking at that going, man, if we can snatch these things at 37, 40, 45 cents on the dollar, hell yeah. But the other side of the bank is like, yeah, but that means all of this debt is bad. And if all this debt is bad, then we have liquidity issues. What does that make the bank do? It makes them tighten up. They're less likely to give out loans. And if they're not originating new loans, that actually depresses the market, right? That tightens currency, that tightens lending, that tightens credit creation and currency creation, money creation, right? M2, money in the free world that we use. It's lent into existence, not printed. It's lent into existence. Most of the currency units we use are lent into existence through banks, originating loans. And if they no longer feel that works, they stop originating those loans, and it makes it harder for people to buy homes. So yes, it can create these weird bubbles. So anyway, housing is just a big freaking mess. So the banks have been juggling this, like, do we foreclose? Do we not? On a smaller home, are you going to spend $50,000 to foreclose on a home that the home is $150,000? You're going to spend a third of it? And then what? You're going to hold that property? Now you're going to have landscapers and all this kind of crap. You're going to go remodel. And the investment part of the bank may want to go after that. But the commercial bank doesn't want that mess. So, and they're all kind of communicating, but only barely. And so you just have this weird scenario where there is a desire. Banks don't want to foreclose. They just say, oh, they want our houses. No, dude, they want you to pay they want you to service your debt, right? They want to be able to lend and have those loans come back money good. because that's how banks make money on the commercial banking side, and also through fees where they charge immigrants $35 every time the payment. That's a whole other thing. Banks are sketch. I'm not defending banks, but banks aren't in it to get your houses. Because, you know, what's the future? Banks own all the houses, and then the Fed bankrupts all the smaller banks, and then the medium-sized banks fold up into the big banks, and then the prime brokers are the last 24 banks, and then the 24 Federal Reserve charter banks absorb the broker dealers, and then what? It's just the Fed? No, man. Well, maybe, but maybe that's their grand evil design. But the banks themselves, they're not just trying to steal homes. So we have a situation coming where, at the very least, even if you think it was no big deal, COVID, no big deal, whole world shut down, no big deal. Can you tell me honestly that you don't think foreclosure and eviction rates are going to go up? If you don't think those are going to go up, raise your hand. Like everything's hunky-dory, no big deal. Remember, there was this big giant chaos event, big chasm, big pit cut in productivity. You can't paper over that. You can't just throw treasury notes in there and fix it. You can't print prosperity. We've talked about this. So quality of life, well, that's hard to say. Not for everyone. But yeah, I would say on the aggregate, people are less happy than they were. And that kind of spins into, when people are less happy, socialism starts to sound good. There are certain parts of socialism that, packaged the right way, sound cool until you unpack it and go, oh, wait, that's bullshit. Even Karl Marx liked a certain amount of capitalism, and then late stage capitalism, which folds over into communism, because then we redistribute all the wealth. So essentially, Marx, if you want to boil it down, hey, we use capitalism to expand the economy and to gather all of these cool things. And then we take the people with the cool things and we steal it from them. We reappropriate it and we give it to society. We spread the wealth. That's the socialism part. So you get late stage capitalism, which bleeds into socialism. And if you don't have anything and life sucks and you've been passed over, or you're in a particularly racist environment, or one of many things that are wrong with this society, then some of the bumper stickers of socialism can look appealing, but it's flawed. You're not you personally, but people are not doing, they're not digging. No one digs. You listen to what you hear on shit. Most people don't listen to CNBC. Most people don't listen to anything except their friend, a little news blurb, 13 seconds of news. You know, it is what it is. No one wants to do research. And that's why the entitlement thing is silly to me. Everybody's entitled. I'm entitled. I should be rich. I should be, well, I deserve it. You don't deserve shit. You go and get it. Or you watch somebody else have it. That's it, man. You don't get to sit on the sidelines and wait until everybody else wins and be like, cool, give us all your shit. No, dude. No. You don't get to win if you're not willing to do the work, if you're not willing to suffer. That's like the same reason. Look at crypto compared with these other markets. Everybody's like, oh, those markets are crazy. I was in there and I got blah, blah. No, you don't deserve to win. Am I attending the Miami Bitcoin thing? No, God. The worst pain, the worst death, the death of 1,000 minutes that I could imagine is being surrounded by a bunch of Bitcoin maxis or wannabe pretend Bitcoin maxis in a room. No, thanks. You can keep it. I can't stand those dudes just reading their Twitter profiles. If I see some dumbass in there with laser eyes, I'm going to punch him in the eye socket. So no, I will not be attending that. I am going to be doing something in September, like a seminar thing, I think in San Diego, but that's like a charity thing, just teaching people not to be stupid with their money. But yeah, CNBC has our best intentions in mind. I know, right? Yeah. So I don't know. I just urge all of you, don't buy into the bumper stickers. Don't buy into the blurbs. Just again, always do your research. What are the red envelopes for on KuCoin? I don't know. I don't know what that is. It's supposed to be some like cool airdrop stuff. I don't know. KuCoin's dope. I just don't understand it. KuCoin has a lot of really cool stuff. I just don't understand all of it. I'm learning. I just like it because it has, okay, I got it. Oh, hold on. We're changing program. Should we go to, we did hypertrophy, we did muscle building. Ooh, let's try strength. Okay. Let's try the strength program. Let's see what we got. What's going on with strength? So now we'll have done all 3. Boop. This is very exciting. It's doing a scan. Okay. Socialism can't work. Human greed destroys that. True. None of these completely work all of the time. Capitalism, what happens is greed turns into extreme greed, turns into cheating and stealing and graft and corruption. And that's the problem. When you get corrupt, none of these systems work. And what you start to see is there are various aspects of a lot of these systems. And it's like you said, that greed destroys. Greed destroys most things because greed, to a certain point, we can chalk it up to, that's good. Greed makes you, work harder and do that. Yeah, but greed makes less scrupulous individuals cheat. And because of the way that humans stack in a pyramid for the most part, sociopaths rise to the top. So if you're willing to do very dubious things, then you're going to be more successful in a corporate environment. And you're going to be more successful in an environment where it's okay to step on people's necks. Alex, what's up? There's just a lot of bad behavior that gets celebrated. Unfortunately, it sucks. Listen, none of us have an answer, but I will say this. This is our chance. The crypto space is our chance. If you're willing to do your research, if you're willing to dig in, if you're willing to stress a little bit, absorb some of the volatility, there's a lot of money to be made, a lot of currency units. And if you believe that they're going to print us into hyperinflation, if you believe it's all bullshit, which many do, asking for a friend. Do you see any glitches yesterday on KuCoin dealing with AGI? No, remember that AGI is no longer AGI. AGI is now AGIX. You guys know this, right? AGI is AGIX. So some of the exchanges, as they roll over to the new token, AGIX is the Cardano version of the token. Yes, it's Cardano, and it runs on Cardano, and it's an ERC20 token. What? How is that even possible? It doesn't make sense, man. Yeah. So if you had AGI, they're in the process of swapping you out for AGIX. If you had it in MetaMask or on Singularity Net, you now look at your account and you have AGIX. So that's all that is. Yeah. Oh, sorry that it was freezing. Yeah. Sometimes I'm working on getting better internet. I'm actually scaling up houses, which is, it's a process. Anyway, whatever. We'll get there. Okay. AGI is locked on KuCoin. Yeah. They're locking it until they've swapped out for AGIX. So there you go. AGI in recent weeks, if you can touch on your perspective on how they are rolling this. Yeah. So they're just rolling out the new token. It's that easy. S2K. They had the AGI token. They rolled over to the AGIX token, which will now function both on the Ethereum and the Cardano platforms, which is really cool protocols. So they are the first of what I imagine will be many to port over to Cardano. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want to use every platform? Why wouldn't you port over to Polkadot, Cardano, everywhere? Like everywhere you can be, you should be, because common sense, right? And you want to reduce fees as much as you can, and you want to alleviate the stresses of the people using your assets. Let's see, would purchasing AGI on exchange now mean you're getting AGI or AGIX? If you're buying now, you're getting AGIX. Okay. Yes. Price thoughts on AGI to AGIX. Well, AGIX won't have the high fees, the high, ridiculous, nonsensical fees that AGI had, being an Ethereum token versus being an ADA, a Cardano-based token. Now, I don't know what all of that means as far as we move forward. Will you be able to hold AGIX in your Daedalus wallet? Maybe. Will you be able to stake from there? Well, wouldn't that be cool? Right? I don't know. I don't know what a lot of this is going to look like I don't think any of us really know. It's just that, yeah, multi-chain. You said it. And is every Cardano token going to be like that? I think so. I mean, as far as I understand, yes, but I don't have all the details. I'm certainly not a Cardano expert, unless just having a bunch of Cardano makes you an expert, but it does not. Unfortunately, owning something does not make you an expert, as we know from Mark Cuban, who owns a lot of stuff and is an expert in very few things. Some would say he's not even an expert in basketball, and he owns a team. So there you go. Staking AGX and Daedalus would make life. Oh God, can you imagine? Can you imagine how great that would be? Now, I'm not saying that that's happening. I don't know how all of that works. From what I understand, as there are transactions occurring with the token, with the AGIX token through Cardano, any fees generated, those fees would get distributed to the network. And so you would start receiving rewards, either extra rewards for the extra tokens or fees like AGIX fees. And I don't know how that's going to work, but the way I understood it was that you would potentially be getting fees in all of the tokens that are leveraging Cardano. How pimp is that? Super pimp. They're kind of doing that with Fetch. For those of you that stake Fetch, right now you're getting Atomics and Fetch, but a few weeks ago you were getting Atomic, Fetch, MetalX. Okay. I'm staking, and I'm actually doing liquidity providing for the MetalX Fetch pair. So they took my Fetch tokens, split them into Fetch and Uniswap V2 coins to create liquidity, and I end up yielding MetalX tokens. That weird? So anyway, so this is the future, is this kind of stuff. And I just think that at the very forefront of that are AGI and Cardano. And so I'm very, very excited about it. Rewards in the Cardano token or the AGI, I don't know. This is the thing. It's not been made completely clear to me. Adam and I were talking about that the last time we chatted. We're not sure either. The way I understood it was you could get rewards in both. So you would look at your rewards and you'd be like, oh, rewards, I got this much Cardano. I got this much AGI. I got this much Bondly, or what, all these different projects. So pretty cool, right? So anyway, there's a lot going on. We didn't even really talk about the markets. This is kind of more of a macro. For those of you, Exodus, ADA staking. So look, guys, gals, pronouns. Get your coins off of these. Just use Daedalus. I've been telling people forever, use Daedalus. Just go to Daedalus, launch the wallet on your computer and put your tokens there and stake right from your computer. And I know everybody's like, no, Exodus is cool. And yeah, man. But, Daedalus is designed by the people at IOHK directly, right? So use the product closest to the well, right? If you're going to bottle water, bottle it from the glacier. Don't go 7 towns over. You just get it from the glacier. Let's see. Sniper Princess says, AGI KuCoin support the upgrade of Singularity Net from AGI. AGIX will open AGIX deposit service at 8 a.m. on June 7th. Cool. So giving themselves a few days. My guess is, listen, Gortzel is probably the smartest, at least communicative person on the planet human. He most likely will usher in Skynet. Right? So do you want to get in front of him or jump on board with him? Texas Stakes. Oh, you know what? Give me a second. I have the banner for it. Give me 2 seconds and I'll put up that banner. Hold on. Texas Stakes. Where is it? I've got it somewhere here. Overlay. Patreon. It's somewhere. Let's see if it's here. Nope. Here. Nope. Here. Nope. Damn it. Where is it? Here. Okay. It's Texan_stakes. Texan_stakes. Wait till you watch the Grace Robot video to bet against Charles and Ben. Yeah. Yeah, man, I'm not betting against them. You crazy? I'm trying to rationalize whether I should buy the dog. Coda, whatever. Have you guys seen it? The robot dog. It's so badass. I don't know how the cat would react or if the dog would get along with the cat because the dog is like AI and the cat is, organic human, skin suit like me. But it's on my wish list. The problem, it is $50,000. It's kind of expensive, but it's so dope. It's like, you got to look it up. I'm not even going to, I can't do it justice. Look up this dog. It is badass. And I want to get a cool weaponized security, like the Ed 209 version. For those of you that got that reference, RoboCop. Jimmy James, what's up? Cats don't like competition. Yeah, but that's because cats are used to organic competition. If it's a robot, I can play with Kitty and be like, robot dog, go guard the rest of the house, robot dog. And it'll be like, okay, because it's not an emotional thing. Kitty can be like, yeah, we're still the best. We're organic skin, slushy piles of skin suit. So anyway, yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, the nurse would be dope too. Okay, let's take a quick look. We just kind of skipped all crypto stuff. We did macro today. We talked macro. Drop 50K in an AI dog and it ends up hating you. Yeah, I know, but you could maybe reset it. Sell an NFT. I know. You know what? I've got that Beeple. A guy offered me 67,000 for it. I paid 37. But Beeple's sending out the actual NFT, the plastic thing, the acrylic, and it comes with a pair of Beeple underwear. Not that he wore, but just whatever. Anyway, I'm like, I'm not selling it until I get those underwear. And I'm going to do a video where I plug it in and I put on the underwear. And then I will sell it. But not until then. They're going, gosh, the cheapest one for sale right now, I think, is 88,000. And the most expensive one is like 400. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You know what? I'll let mine go right now for 100 racks. And you'll own one of 100 people. Huh? Who wants in? It's kind of cool owning a Beeple. The other thing too is if you're the owner of record, they'll do a lot of these drops where you have to own a Beeple to get a Beeple. And then there's like a couple hundred people in the raffle, and it's for like $1. So you're getting one of these and you can immediately flip it for $40, $50, $60,000. I mean, like right then. Here, poof. And so you have like a 1 in 3, 1 in 4 chance. So it's like you own one to get access to the others. And it's like a couple times a year they do this. It's pretty dope. Anyway, so, and it's kind of cool to own a Beeple. So there you go. Yeah, I'm going to do an OnlyFans where I put on the Beeple underwear. People are going to be like, I thought it was going to be something gross and naked. I'm like, well, I got underwear and an NFT. That's as gross as it gets. All the other good OnlyFans are already taken. They've already done there's nothing you could do now. What looks juicy? Well, let's see. What is looking kind of juicy is Cardano at $1.79, but I'm just saying. Venus, I don't know anything about it. It's up 4%. Voyager, not sold yet, man. But again, if it gets to 90, it's still a buy. I will still buy some. So you guys know kind of how our little vortex system works. What I'm doing, you do you. But what I'm doing is when I get a 90, I buy, I wait for 25%, and I put a trailing stop in, or 1 week. Either way, I take my original investment back out. And I've done this about 9 times in a row. And I'm on the house's money on like 8 tokens. And the only one I'm still in that I didn't sell my original position, Matic. Because I think Matic is a longer term hold, not forever, but a longer term hold. It's more likely than not that Matic ends up being what Ethereum 2.0 was trying to be, which creates a whole other kind of stress. I think Ethereum's got some real problems. Ethereum's got 99 problems and maybe more, right? Like Ethereum has like legit problems.
Rap Max trying to use my black ass so advertisers can give them more cash for ads. Fuckers, I don't know what you take me as.
It's such a cool song. Green Swan 2021 event this week. Any thoughts? Eli, I do not know what Green Swan event you speak of. How far do you set the stop at? Probably 5%. Trailing stop. Philippe. Dawn in the house. Okay, so let me let's do this. Let's go through. There's nothing on the list right now that we need to buy. For those of you that don't know, Dogecoin's getting listed on Coinbase Pro on Thursday. Expect it to be on Coinbase next week. What does that mean? Probably sell into it. That's been the traditional path. I mean, good for Dogecoins, more exposure. But the Coinbase effect usually lasts about a day now. And by the time it lists, it'll get a little pop, and then you want to sell into it. Otherwise, you're going to get clipped, like we did on NKN, Origin, 1 inch, go down the list. Really quick, 1 inch, the staking is stupid. Hold on. Let me look it up. The 1 inch staking right now is retarded, and the price is great. Let me see what it is. Man, it was so good last night. It's like 60%. Crap, it's down to 9%. But you know what? Listen when I say that. It's down to 9%. 9% is great. 9% is so good. But it was 60% for like the last 2 weeks. I've been crushing it. So yes, I added at 3. I don't know what the price was. I think I added at 310, 312, 314. Anyway, I had sold in the 5s. Matter of fact, I sold at 5. It was a few Saturdays ago when the chaos started. I was trying to sell at $6.20. I was at 5.29. I sold at 5.29. So I wanted to rebuy my position back, and so I rebought it at 3 and change. So like I got 3. I ended up with a 75% bump. Same money back in, and I got 75% more tokens. Now I have a cushion of tokens that if we get back up to that 5 to 6 range, I will sell those off. Again, house is money. So you don't always have to have a home run. For those of you that are looking kind of like for that big hit, you don't always have to have a home run. And real quick, let's just go through these assets just so you can see what's going on. We'll do this really quick, and then you guys can get your day going. Okay, the Bitcoin is 37.9, so we're just about 38,000, up 4.5% on the day. Ethereum 2,700, up 7, almost 8% on the day. Cardano $1.79, up 4.0, almost 5 on the. So very close. Bitcoin and the Cardano all green across the board. The daily, the weekly, the monthly, the yearly, all green across the board, and I expect that to continue with vacillations here and there. But I can't imagine that this rollout of smart contracts is going to be bad for Cardano. I think it's going to be amazing. Polkadot 25.53. I got back in at 17. I'm super happy. Why? Because I kept some dry powder. And Friday, when everybody panics because the weekend's here and it's time to sell everything and we're all going to die, if you have some money, it seems like on Saturday, at the peak of frustration, you can pretty much always buy and ride it out till Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and sell back and book profit. I mean, it's a weird wash, rinse, and repeat, but it's been working. USDC, hold some. You should hold some. Matic, still doing well. It's had a tough week, but you can't complain about the month of the year. VeChain's kind of, I don't know, man. VeChain, I think you probably look for exits. You look for an announcement that it will be listed on Coinbase, which I believe it will in the next few weeks, like say 3 to 6 weeks, probably sooner than later. But my guess is that's the pop where you probably go to the sidelines. I don't know. I don't know if VeChain is anything exciting now. It was very exciting at 1 penny. It's not so exciting at this 12, 13 cents. I sold some at 25s. No, I sold some at 23 cents. I sold some at 7 cents, but that was on the way up. So anyway, but my aggregate price was 1 penny. I bought it for 3 years at 1 penny. I spent $5 a day for 3 years at 1 penny. So Cool. And I kept a chunk of it that I'm not going to sell because it's way house money, and I'm just willing to let it sit. Okay. Cosmos coming back up, but it got beat up pretty hard. It touched almost $30 a few weeks ago. Theta, probably a good chance to start leaning into Theta. This is the month for them, as far as I know, as far as their kind of repackaging, relaunch their mainnet, from what I've heard. We'll see. Mana, I don't know, man. Maybe. Engine is a yes for me. I'm adding below $2. I think it's going to have a strong year. Telcoin thinks it's going to have a strong year, but I'm on house's money. Near, I'm adding probably up to $4. I just continually add a little bit. Plus, I'm staking, and I'm getting good staking rewards. So I'm happy about that. Nexo, it's half of what it was 2 weeks ago. And if you use Nexo, it makes sense to have Nexo. This is a good time to buy. Rune, me likey a lot better when it was $8. Me likey selling at about $20. Those are my ranges. I'm going to keep range trading this and trying to build my stash. So I started with, like, say 100 tokens. This is just 100 tokens. It went up to $19. I think I sold at 18 or 17. I sold half. It came back down. My last purchase was $8. Somewhere in the eights. It wasn't 8 flat. Somewhere in the eights about 2 weeks ago when all the chaos happened. And we've been moving back up. I did add more this weekend also when it kind of was down. I think I got down to 10 something. I added Graph token, not because of Tikatuari and his 5 coins to 5 million, all that bullshit that he talks about, this old goddamn sob story. But that Graph token's doing a lot of interesting things, and I think they're going to be here for a long time. AR Weave, I was trying to get back into. It had gotten down to like 12 to 13 range, and I wanted it to cross price with Thorchain, and I was going to take some of my Thorchain winnings and go into AR. Didn't work out. Hey, we all miss them. We don't always get all the trades, but I think AR, especially as we're going into the Polkadot month, I think this is a good trade. IOST, I don't know, man. You probably look for an exit. 1 inch, I'm a buyer. I am a buyer. I bought it. I just told you I bought. Flow, probably a good investment, but people aren't really paying attention to NFTs right now. They're panicking because they just got whooped. Origin, I don't know what to think of Origin. I feel like it's a good deal. I feel like this is a good deal, but you know what? I don't know, man. The price action's not been cooperative. Say that. Wax, probably a buyer. Fetch, definitely a buyer. I'm buying up to 50 cents. Stormix, it's S-ing the bed, but as the market gets better, the idea of these kind of incentivized debit and credit cards make more sense. Audius, oh man, they don't really have any good competition. They have a little bit of competition. I feel like the problem with Audius is at the staking level, some kind of sketch behavior, the same way that Graph token had sketch behavior. And that's the problem, is if you don't have a big vibrant community like Polkadot, like Cardano, like Ethereum, then you're going to get bad stake pool operators and very dubious actors. And it can really cloud or sour. I've lost a lot of staking rewards in Audius. And the only reason I haven't completely left staking is because it would be a gazillion dollars in Ethereum to do it. And I don't feel like burning $900 worth of Ethereum to unstake. I mean, I have to wait until I've at least made that much in Audius tokens to make it worthwhile. So I'm probably in for a penny, in for a pound. I probably ride this one into the sunset or into the dirt. NKN really underperformed, like wickedly underperformed. It's probably a good buy right here, but you don't throw good money after bad. This is a failing project, but you're only one news headline away from not being a failing project. So right now, it's probably one of the worst trades anyone made in the last 6 months. A week from now, it could be the best trade ever, and that is crypto. Matrix AI, terrible staking, terrible platform. Stay away from it. Don't use their fucking garbage wallet or any of that. If you buy this token, keep it on the exchange. I know that's everybody. No, yes. Keep it on the exchange. Don't leverage any of the Matrix AI bullshit right now. Let them sort that out, because they have definitely not. And Singularity Net, which this isn't the new token. This is the old token. So there's a lot of, everybody's kind of like, AGIX is the new token. Problem is AGIX doesn't have, not showing up yet. So until it does and people know what's going on, expect AGI to be down, but don't buy AGI, only buy AGIX. Okay, cool. All right. That is all. That's all I have for you. I'm sorry. Let's see. Are you sold out crypto and coffee? Man thongs. I'm getting a whole new line of them. All right, Kingston dude. Thanks, man. Everybody have a good one. Stay out of trouble. Go watch Making Sense, Emil Kalinowski, Jeff Snyder. And even though his secretary is a douche, go watch George Gammon. And even though Raul himself is a douche, there is a lot of good content on Real Vision. So go check it out. Absorb. Mike Green is awesome. And I even like Mike Green, and he hates the Bitcoin. A little bit of that is he's sour because he missed it, but that's okay. Smart people miss stuff. It is what it is. We all miss stuff. You're not going to catch every green candle. Don't think you have to. You do not have to. All you have to do is do your own research. Find a handful of assets that you like, you believe in, you think they're going to change the world, that you can explain to yourself or to your grandmother, not to my grandmother, but to some grandmother. And if you can do that, and if you can live with the volatility, you get to participate. And that could mean really amazing things. Remember, Cardano made 6,500 new millionaires. Yep. Think about that. 6,500 new millionaires. We're only at the beginning. Ron, here's Mercedes. Ron drives an old Mercedes because he thinks it's cool. All right. Stay out of trouble. Don't do anything my poor insolvent drunk, strung out on meth, high as a kite, smoking angel dust, blitzed on water and lewds grandmother wouldn't do. And, she just wants you to stay away from scams.
Thank you for calling in Microsoft. How may I help you?
No. That's a scam.
Hey, this is the Prophet with Nick Black. It's time to chit chat. You know nothing about blockchain. We here to fix that. You want the news on them new stocks? This where you get that. So go and grab you a nice chair. It's time to sit back and talk to Prophet. Hey, you talking to the Prophet? Hey. We talking condos and nice clothes and dropping Lambos. I remember them night codes, we couldn't stand those. We tried to drive on them house roads, but had to stay low. Now there's solutions to hard bills we couldn't pay for. I talked to Prophet to get some profit, we couldn't change the top. If it's a stock and I need a cop it, I wait for him to drop it. Ain't no option, let's get it popping. We chilling in the drop. I need some crypto, put it in my pocket by any means I rock. This is the Prophet with Nick Black. It's time to chit chat. You know nothing about blockchain, we here to fix that. You want the news on them new stocks? This where you get that. So go and grab you a nice chair. It's time to sit back and talk to Prophet. Hey, you talking to the Prophet. Hey, you talking to the Prophet.
It's all fake news. It's phony stuff. It didn't happen.